Hello. We're all very happy to be here tonight. First of all, I'd like to introduce my boys. This is Chucko, and this is Buster, and this is Pete. I'm David Lynch, and this is Bob, and this is Dan. And we just wanted to get together and thank all of the people that have supported Eraserhead through the years, and particularly thank the New Art Theater for its support. The New Art was one of the first theaters to ever show Eraserhead. Also, the boys wanted me to wish you peace and happiness. And these guys aren't just a bunch of goofballs. They know that there's plenty of suffering in the world, and they spent many years with little iron hooks in their backs up on Sunset Boulevard. And but they tell me that there's this all-pervading happiness underneath everything. And the more time I spend with them, the more I believe it. And so we wish you peace and happiness, and long live Eraserhead.
There's quite a few fallen trees here, and I think the trees know what's up. Show himself. Yeah, hey, it's Pat the Wizard 345 here. It's been a quite shocking / sad 48 hours, knowing that a person who a word there. A person who inspired me throughout, basically from my adolescence onwards, basically completely sort of like rewired my brain, and is gone, and that person is David Lynch. I first came across David Lynch when I was about 14, and I stayed up one late Sunday night at school the next day, but but then this film came on TV, and it completely sort of captivated me. It was called Eraserhead, and I was disturbed, but I couldn't stop watching it. It was such a, like, I don't think anyone has come close to capturing that kind of like sort of nightmarish ambience on film, really. And from that day on, I just became I became like obsessed. Like, who is this beautiful maniac who made that, you know? And then of course I saw the Elephant Man, and the Elephant Man's one of the most like sad but like beautiful films ever made. And then I saw Dune, and I'll admit that's not one of my least favourite films of his. I still enjoy it, but it's like, I can see why David Lynch kind of discards that, because it's you can tell when the studio kind of meddled with it, but still an enjoyable watch. And then of course you have Blue Velvet, which, yeah, that was great. Blue Velvet's got one of my favourite sort of opening montages ever, just that like sort of when the camera pans down onto the white picket fence as Blue Velvet by Bobby Vinton's playing, like, and it has one of the scariest sort of villain performances probably ever by Dennis Hopper, you know, and we goes, Heineken, fuck that shit. yeah, and that's the line that always sticks out. But and then I have this really funny memory of me and my friend. We were watching Wild at Heart, and the scene where Nicolas Cage and Laura Dern are in the car, then they just get out of the car and start mosh dancing. Like, that bit is like forever, you know, stuck in my brain. And of course, it wouldn't be able to talk about David Lynch without the best series ever made, and Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks, that of all like the Lynch projects, like that and The Straight Story changed how I viewed telling stories, like, because I ordinarily I really struggle to watch long form series. Like, I don't know why, with my attention span, I just like, I've always struggled with that, but there's something so captivating, and still to this day, there's nothing else like Twin Peaks, especially season 3. But it, it was just like, on the surface, it almost seems like, especially when it starts off, like almost like a cheesy soap opera. But then as it goes on, it becomes increasingly Lynchian, and just sucks you into this sometimes really scary and disturbing but beautiful world. And that goes through a lot of Lynch's work. And what I never forget the time me and my friend watched Lost Highway the first time. That was the scene with the mystery man. Like, all the scenes with the mystery man are like permanently plugged into our brain. Like, I'm just kind of lost for words at the minute, because I don't even know where to begin, like, saying how much this guy meant to me. But, like, he's if it isn't obvious, if you've seen like my films that I've made over the years on this channel, or the style I've made, the way I put things together, in the editing process, you probably could guess who's influenced me quite a bit, and it still hasn't like fully sunk in that he's gone. But I knew he wasn't well, but it still came as the biggest punch to the gut I've ever had, like, of a person I've not personally known, like it's like a family member or a close friend. The only Robin Williams and this has just winded me sort of mentally. But yeah. I think the thing that will always stand out in his work to me is, because even though, like, I'd say overall Stanley Kubrick was my favorite director, as a human being, I think Stanley Kubrick would probably be. I don't know if this is just the way he comes across, his work comes across, but like a very sort of almost nihilistic and sort of cynical guy. Like the type of guy that I wouldn't want to like. I would like to maybe have a conversation with, but I'd be kind of scared to go in depth with, But there's something about David's work that will always. There's always this even though David Lynch films can take you to the most darkest of places, and like his films go to the darkest of places sometimes, there's always an underlying sort of optimism and empathy, and that comes across in all the interviews I've ever seen with him, or in his weather reports, or or when he's doing the today's number is 7, every day during lockdown. Like, those videos kept me sane during lockdown. And yeah, in his work, with transcendental meditation and his general outlook on life, which I've seen through like documentaries, and the way he talks in interviews, like, this guy was one of the brightest sort of lights in the universe in terms of like people who tell stories and make films, paintings, like, this guy was just, he was in his own world, but it was a beautiful world, and I didn't like, even though I knew he was in his 70s, and I can't remember name of the disease or illness that he had, but I kind of knew his days might be numbered, but it's still the sudden death of him, just like it's still, and we've been seeing on the internet the last 2 days the amount of tributes from people I would never have known like were fans of David Lynch, and it just how many lives and things he's influenced for the good, like whether it be creative, whether it be people's outlook on life, and he opened the doors, I think, for people to just in cinema just express things that they can't ordinarily put into words. And I don't think anything I'm saying will do David Lynch justice, other than like I couldn't like let this pass me by, like, because I feel like, because he's been such a fundamental part of my life. I listen to the music from Twin Peaks at least every other day. I watched a video about David Lynch every other day. I watched his films like every month, and it I don't know, it really, even though obviously I never met him, but it just feels like someone, like a close friend, is gone. And yeah, it really hurts on like a deep level. But as he's one of his most famous things, and his family put out that report, saying that he said, don't focus on the whole, focus on the donut. And yeah, I like to think that he's reincarnated as a donut next to a cup of coffee in a diner somewhere in the Pacific Northwest. And he's gone to the woods now, so I thought, what a better fitting place to talk about him. Wherever he's gone, if he's gone to the woods or if he's gone to the other place, he's probably there with Angelo Badalamenti and Julie Cruz, putting out some amazing music and just having some amazing backwards conversations. But yeah, I just want to say, I don't, obviously, you won't, I don't know if you see this, but like, I just wanted to say thank you, David, for everything. Thank you for helping me, having the get-go to just go out and, make stuff. In the end, the universe and the dreams beyond that. So yeah, the world spins. So yeah, it's, as the log lady would say, the sadness, one day the sadness will end, and it's going to be a beautiful day with blue skies and golden sunshine all along the way. So yeah, just say thank you, David, for everything, and see you all again soon. Have a good one.
August 21, 2020, and once again, it's a Friday. Here in LA, some low clouds and fog, clearing a little bit now. Very still, around 70 degrees Fahrenheit, 21 Celsius. I'm wearing dark glasses today because I'm seeing the future, and it's looking very bright. Should go up to around 90 degrees this afternoon, around 32 degrees Celsius, and we might be having some clouds with us, but hopefully Also, some blue skies and golden sunshine. Everyone, have a great day.
Silencio.